What's up guys? Here we are for another video on my Chris Photography channel. We're gonna go over 3 things that, in my opinion, will keep you in shape and will make you a better photographer. Stay right there, don't move. We're coming back right after this. Okay, good. So there are 3 things that I mentioned that will make you a better photographer and that will keep you in shape. One way for you to stay in good shape as a photographer is to practice photography. What do I mean by practice photography? What I mean is, I see a lot of people that spend hours and hours and hours and hours, countless number of hours checking videos on YouTube, tutorials, videos on street photography or weddings or whatever they watch. And that is great, that is awesome, but the problem is you cannot just watch videos or just read things online all day long. There has to be a balance. So you need to go out and shoot. You need to actually practice photography. Second thing, challenge yourself. What does that mean? I have found that over time I tend to sometimes get a little bit lazy, or have a lot of work, or have other things to do in my life, and I tend to not be as much on photography and stop practicing for a little bit. If you don't practice photography regularly and you don't challenge yourself, you're gonna end up not taking photos. So how to stay on your feet and try to find new things is by challenging yourself. Try different things. Most photographers, amateur maybe photographers, would think, which is something totally normal to think, that you would need to take a wide angle. Sorry, I don't have it here. It's on my X-T2 filming right now, but I have a 10-24. Some people would think that the wider, the best to take landscape. Well, let me tell you something. For landscaping, I don't use a wide angle. I tend to use something different. For example, earlier today, was a gorgeous day around here where I live, and I decided to go and take some photos. So I applied the first point, which is to get out and take photos. The second point, which is to challenge myself, and the third point, which is to try new things. So the challenge in this case is to go out and take photographies of nature and its beauty. That was my challenge. And then the third and last point was to change and try new things. So what I did to try new things was I shot with the 56mm f1.2, sometimes wide open, sometimes not. I took some photos at 5.6, some photos of f1.2, f2 and so forth, and I tried things. Landscape with 56mm is actually very interesting because it limits you, but at the same time it gives you that compression of the background, and you can really play. If you have a wide aperture, you can really play with that frame, and then it forces you to look around, be creative, take photos of things that you would not have noticed otherwise, and then to challenge yourself. So in this case, I'm going to show you a bunch of photos that I took from this afternoon, and I'm going to comment on them one by one. Here we go. So this first one is a flower. You can see there's a couple other flowers there. I took this one from above, so with my 56mm at f1.2, and that basically makes this flower stand out. The next one, you can see some trunks. I took a bunch of photos of trunks. I really like this one. You can see the depth of field. Same for the next one, where you see the texture of this trunk. Next one, you see a bunch of trunks. You see I tried to, this one you can see the top that is like completely blurry, and your attention goes on the trunks, so I played a little bit with that. Next one, trunks again. On this one, I played with the depth of field. Next one, you can see patches of light, lines, sort of waves. But here, I just took a portion of the landscape and I photographed that because my interest was on all these patterns and these textures and so forth. You can see in the foreground, it's all blurry. The next one, I would like to call this photo lines, because you can see the amount of lines that cross through this photo and that go, right to left, left to right, up and down, diagonal, and all sorts of shapes. You see houses, contrast, colors. On the next one, okay, this one is very, very interesting one. I had a hard time taking this photo. It was a wire, you know, one of those metal wires around the sheep and, you know, animals. And I had to basically, I had to focus manually on the wire at f1.2, and the rest is completely blown out of focus, and it's an extreme bokeh. But I really like that sort of, looks like a fly or something flying in the middle, but actually it's just a wire that was shot. There you go. The next one here, we see wires and we see the field, and I like to call this one sections, because you see the sky is one section, the trees under is another section, under that you have another section, and under that you have some old, like dry trees, and under that you have the fields. So it's different little layers and sections, which makes it a wonderful landscape. On this next one, I decided to transform it in black and white. So yeah, that's just the side of the road, but I really like the you know, the texture, the lines, the depth of field. So it's a very interesting one. I like that. My eye just went on it. Okay, on the next one here you have a landscape, so I tried to show layers. You have the sky, the white, it's actually white sky, and then under that you see in the background there's like this very light pale colors, and in the foreground you see some trees that were sticking out. Those are out of focus, but they give you a little bit of depth of field, and they give you that, you know, separation between, you know, the compression between the foreground and the background. And on the last one, we see a castle and a lot of, again, lots of texture, shadows, trees, colors, you name it. There you go. That's a little bit of what I took. So my challenge, personal challenge, was nature and its beauty. I tried this with a 56mm. Next time I'll go out with probably a 23mm. I'm waiting for it. I should be receiving it in a few days. Now, one advice that I have for you on this is, if you have a friend who likes photography, or friends in general that like photography, one thing you can do is challenge each other. How does that work? I started doing that with a friend, and actually it's great. It's a great exercise to do, to push your limits, to make you go out and make you try things, and you know. And you could do a challenge such as, okay, let's say you give a sentence such as, and that's where the wind blows. Or another challenge could be, then I open my eyes. Or catch me if you can. You know, and those are all little sentences for challenges that will make the other one, like your friends, have to think over something, you know, and, you know, like white is the predominant, or whatever. Any sentence like that, that will just push you, you know, to do something that you normally would not do. And let's say you set a target of, I don't know, let's say within 1 week you have to submit your photo to your friend, and vice versa. And as a result, you will get more and more and more in shape as a photographer. You will have more fun, you will try new things, and then you can even challenge yourselves with, like, I remember taking photos with an Instax, and that was my challenge. I had to take the Instax and then try to take that photo, and that was actually freaking hilarious. Or I would take, you know, let's say the 90mm, and I had to do that challenge with a 90mm, you know, 130 for full frame. And those are cool challenges, guys. Those are actually awesome challenges, and that will keep you on your toes. So to recap, 1, go out, take photos, and just shoot. Don't spend your time watching videos, tutorials, and so forth. The second thing is challenge yourself. Go upside down, look here, look there. Take a sentence from a dictionary or from internet and try to reproduce something that would represent that sentence, and that will give you that, you know, that extra something more, you know. And then the third thing is try things that you would normally not try, and be different. Instead of taking a landscape with a wide angle, you would take it with a 90mm or 56mm. Well, then do that. Try portraits from far away, then do that. If the perfect lens for street photography is normally a 35 or 23 equivalent on aps-c, then try something different. Try, I don't know, a 90, and try to get as close as you can to people. And then, you know, get out there and try things. Here you go. I would love to have a bunch of challenges from you guys. So if you could comment down below, in your comments you post a challenge that you would like me to do, or a sentence that you would like me to take photos of. I would love that. I would actually go out and try that, and I will make a video with the first comments that I get. So Do that quick. Don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time on my channel. And otherwise, for the rest of you guys, thanks a lot for watching and see you soon. Cheers.